following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Welcome in, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Pretty weather in Middle Tennessee. Shout out to Elizabeth who joins us and to my sweet Josie from the Josie Awards. By the way, the Josie Awards coming up at the Grand Ole Opry House in Nashville, Tennessee, coming up in October. And you can go to the Josie Awards and click in and find out how to get tickets. The biggest independent music awards in the whole wide world. And it's going to be fantastic. Hopefully, if you know about this organization, you'll get involved. They are fantastic. Speaking of fantastic, in April, next month, coming right up, Garth is going to be doing a stadium tour in Nashville. And a lot of people have talked about Garth's signature headsets. Well, they don't make them anymore. And Garth had a few things to say about what he's had to do to get all the headsets and the microphones ready for his stadium tour.
It's the same headset. They don't make the headset anymore, so we're holding on to everyone that we can around the globe. We've kind of got all of them that are left. If we can just get through the stadium tour, then we'll figure out what we're going to do after this year.
Can you imagine? Knowing Garth, he'll probably find a way to link with a company and say, we want you to make these headsets just for us, a signature Garth headset. What do you think? Hey, coming up, we're going to talk about Tin Pan South, the biggest songwriter event in the whole wide world, coming to Nashville this week. Anthony Smith will join us in a little bit. We've got the Hitz List with Tracy Hitz. But this weekend, something very, very sad. It's been a tough weekend. It's just been tough. I spoke with Jeff Carson at the amazing show down in Birmingham, not in Birmingham, in Huntsville, the 40 years of hits with Lee Greenwood. And he went out and sang. But the thing about Jeff, he was not only a police officer in Franklin, Tennessee, he did so much good for so many people. He was just always the sweetest thing. He used to sing demos for me. But the thing that he always had was a sense of wonder. He was walking around getting selfies with everybody. It was like he was backstage. He was on the bill, but he was so thrilled to be part of this wonderful event. And he got tears in his eyes. He said, I just can't believe I'm here, Devin. I just can't believe they asked me to be a part of this. Humility has always been something that he has. And Buddy Hyatt has been putting the finishing touches on a brand new album. Jeff was so excited about this new album. 10 hours before his obituary hit the news, 10 hours before that, he was wishing happy birthday with a picture of he and Kenny Chesney. 10 hours. That's how quickly things can change. So whatever you're doing in your life, look at your life and look at your minutes and look at your days, look at your hours and how are you spending them? And hopefully Jeff's song that he released a year ago will give you some peace.
God save the world. God save the child. Humble the strong. Strengthen the mild. Open my eyes see. God save the world, starting with me. I light a candle, stare at the flame. I see the only way this world can change. One tiny light in each of us, a seed of hope, a mighty love. God save the world, God save the child, humble the strong, strengthen the mild, open my eyes that I might see. God save the world, starting with me. God save our homes, God save this earth. Let each and every one of us see what prayer's worth. God save the free, God save the bound, God help the lion and the lamb lay down. Together we are not alone. God bring each son and daughter home. God save the world, God save the child, humble the strong, strengthen the mild, open up our hearts that we might see peace on earth, claim victory. Open up my heart that I might see. God save the world, starting with me.
Ooh, that one got me, because if there's one person that you can say for sure that's up there saying that right to Jesus's face, and that would be Jeff Carson. Good man. Josie weighing in, such a talented and kind man. He will truly be missed. Leslie. And big hugs. Thank you, Steve Burney. And Vera Smith saying good morning to us. Sarah Evans, just saw him. I was not able to go to the Daryl Singletary tribute show that they have every year, and he was there, and just the sweetest thing. And Melissa Hudson weighing in, back when she lived in Colorado with her mother and her ex-husband, went to a county fair to see Jeff Carson, Daryl Singletary, and so many. And Margie Singleton weighing in too. It is very, very, very sad. Michelle Durham weighing in as well. Loretta Huff. Low, we are in shock. We're just in shock that he is gone. Just saw him. Jeff is always such a great human. That's a great way to put it. He was a really great human. Paulie, big hugs, beautiful tribute to a wonderfully talented and great man. He sang a lot of, Jeff Pearson. He used to fish Marrowbone Lake with Jeff years ago. Rest in peace. And that song is available, and he's got a brand new album that will be coming out. If Buddy Hyatt has anything to do with it, that album is going to come out. We've got Anthony Smith, who's waiting in the waiting room for us. And we got Tracy Hitz with the Hitz List. Girl, you got to pull me out of this, because I tell you what, that one hit so close to home. It was just, that's the thing. We have days. Use them well.
Yes. No, yeah, I saw that last night, and yeah, it was very sad to see that. But yeah, so Tin Pan South. Speaking of,
South is the story of the hour, right?
yes, it is, and I'm sure I know there are other things going on, but I'm not going to talk to you about those. I'm going to just focus on Tin Pan South.
True that, because there's some great shows. Anthony Smith is waiting in the waiting room, and he's going to be with us in just a second to tell us about the show that he's part of. But I don't know how you pick the shows to go to.
So it's funny you say that. In the spirit of March Madness, I have picked out a couple that are going on at the same time and thought, what would Devin do? And maybe you can help people make some decisions. So the Bluebird is going to be harder than usual to get into just because there's festival passes, but you still can do it. So Tuesday at the Bluebird, Billy Dean, Liz Hengberger, Connor Sweet, and Matt Wynn. Or do you go to the Station Inn, which is Brent Anderson, Barrett Faber, Claire Ernst, Jeb Gibson, and Jordan Michaels?
Holy moly. Star-studded. And I will tell people, you might have heard Billy Dean and his recorded music, but to see him sit with a guitar live is absolutely the best way to see Billy Dean. Perfectly. I mean, friend, for a long time, I used to go see him sing at the KOA campground and the bowling alley in Franklin. That's how far we go back. But just he can do just as a single with a guitar. It's just wow. That's the beauty of Tin Pan South is artists that are songwriters first. Whew.
Yep. And there's no bad shows. A lot of people are like, oh, I didn't get to go to that one. It's like, trust me, whichever one you walk into will be amazing. And then again, there are 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock every single night. So later that night, you've got Jamie Floyd, who you know I love, Ty Herndon, Jake Hoot at Hard Rock, and then Chase McGill, Shane Miner, Caitlin Smith at the Listening Room. Where are you going?
I don't know. I swear to you, it's going to be like one of those floating parties where you go and check in and hear one song from everybody and then move to the next one. It's just like the craziest week. Yeah.
It
And
is.
tinpansouth.com.
Yeah,
tickets, that's an important link because the only way to they will have some cash tickets at every venue, but I wouldn't take my chances if you really want to see a show.
Yeah, that's true. And they have an app which you can download and you can kind of go through and pick out where you're going to go. And also sometimes it's helpful to stay at the same venue. So our guy, Eric Dodd, who was at Music City Mentors when we did that, he's actually at Elston Place Soda Shop, which is a new one because they did those huge renovations and put in a stage. So he's there on Wednesday at 9, but the show before him is Jordan Harvey, Matt Roy, and Steven Wilson Jr., who I just met a person who works with him. So if I was going somewhere on Wednesday, I would stick at Elston Soda Shop for the night to check those guys out.
Yeah, and then plus they got milkshakes.
Yeah. Yes, and obviously that you've got like Jimmy Allen, Carly Pierce, Runaway June, Ashley Cook, Jesse James Decker. All those guys are playing, and it's really cool. But again, it really just go anywhere that you can. The Hard Rock, I loved going to that stage 2 years ago when they had the last one. The Hutton Hotel is a good stage. This year also a new one, as far as I know, Cross-Eyed Critters, which is in the Graduate, which is normally they have the animatronics, almost like the Showbiz Pizza characters downstairs, obviously dressed as Dolly Parton and I think Johnny Cash, but they have they're one of the stages this year, which will be kind of fun. So yeah,
old Nashvilleians like me. Okay, it's the Graduate's right next door to Amerigo. Okay, there we go. That's how we find stuff in Nashville. I still refer to it. Well, that's the old Combine building. You know, I still refer to stuff as what it used to be. And then people now, I have to go back 4 generations to what it used to be. That's Nashville.
It is. And if you go to Cross-Eyed Critters, if there's a day that you should go, Saturday, the 6 o'clock show, also a Music City Mentors alum, Autumn McIntyre, is playing that night at Cross-Eyed Critters.
And McIntyre is a very good name. We saw Reba McIntyre on the stage of the Oscars last night. It is Reba McIntyre's birthday today. And her niece is playing. That is her niece. Autumn McIntyre is her niece. And to say that talent runs in this family is no joke.
That is true. She is just a very, very sweet person. So you've got her at Cross-Eyed Critters, which is a new one to me. Also at the Hutton Hotel Wednesday, you've got Dave Kennedy and Yesterday's Wine, which Yesterday's Wine is Wyatt Durrett and Levi Lowry, and they write a lot for Zach Brown and Luke Combs. And so they've created almost like their own Southern rounds where they go around. And so I've never seen a bad round with those guys.
Well, you know what? You find some of the greatest rounds and some of the greatest entertainment in this town. People can find you at thehitzlist.com. If you missed anything, you can find it there. But if you are an artist or a songwriter who's looking to perfect your brand and kind of really connect it a little better, you can go to Hitz, H-I-T-Z, hitsandbranding.com, because that's what Tracy Hitz do.
It is. And I'll be out every night. Like I said, I'm definitely going to the Bluebird to see Billy Dean. That's the one that I made sure I got tickets for. And so if you follow me on TikTok, I'm just going to recap every show that I go to so you can kind of follow along whether you're here or not.
See, look at you. Follow her on the TikTok. Tracy, it's really good to see you as always. And thanks for keeping us in the know and on the go. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you.
Take care. Bye. We're going to take a look right now. Just before we talk with Anthony Smith, we're going to take a look at Murray County, where we have Main Street Murray, our newspaper. And there is a festival coming to town. And if you're like me, you're into agriculture and you're into farming, or maybe it's just homesteading in your own backyard, the Homestead Festival is coming to Columbia.
This is food from our land. We grew this.
Of really paying attention to everything that I was eating.
We had no idea. I know it's overwhelming when you're starting something new.
When you're at the supermarket and there's no food on the shelf, it makes you feel vulnerable.
Hey you guys, I am so excited to be here to give you.
Hi, I'm Rebecca, and welcome to The Beautiful Life.
We don't know how all these things are going to play out.
It's been completely life transforming.
Okay, I'm so excited about that. I don't even know what to do. I am so excited about that. Hopefully we're going to be able to tell you a little bit more as that festival develops. And yes, Kevin Costner and Modern West will be there. By the way, did you see the Oscars last night? You didn't even have to see them because Twitter and all the social media went nuts because, you know, when somebody smacks somebody on a major awards show, you know, everything goes kind of crazy. You can check out Big Joe on the Go for a full recap, or you can go to Main Street Nashville to see a clip of the video. I mean, Will Smith and Chris Rock. There was an issue, but I'm going to, somebody said, oh, I cannot believe maybe he'll be banned from the Oscars. Look, I'm just going to tell you, the Oscars haven't had that much excitement in about 100 years. They'll have more buzz off what happened than anything they've ever done in any award they gave out. Well, it was a beautiful speech by Kevin Costner last night. So I encourage you to look at some of the highlights and some of the red carpet highlights. And because I know you're going to look at somebody getting smacked. I already know you're going to go and see that video today. Well, Tin Pan South is going to be in town, and I don't think anybody's going to smack anybody. We got Anthony Smith, a dear friend. I have not seen you in so long. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you.
It's great to see you too, Devin. Thanks for having me this morning.
You know, every time I get an email about Anthony Smith, they always have to defer which Anthony Smith. And Bridget Tatum was playing, and she says, yeah, we wrote this song with Anthony Smith, not the one that's here today at Backstage Nashville. It was the other Anthony Smith who was performing. And then it's like, you know, no, Anthony Smith at Porch Light. Both hit writers, both with the same name. How confusing has that been for you? Because you were the OG. You were the first one here in town.
Well, actually, it hasn't been that bad. It was at point to where it was, and then it wound up. But actually, a little known secret, it's not really a secret. His first name is actually Ralph.
Okay.
Ralph Anthony is his middle name. And so when we were both going to the same PROs, we never got confused because his ticket, when we were going to get our awards, his would say Ralph Anthony Smith and mine would say Anthony L. Smith. So
Gotcha.
it was always, but he went by that. But the funniest story is at one point there ended up being like 4 of us in town. There was a Anthony Smith that moved from Los Angeles. That was a pop producer, and he went by Tony Smith. And somebody was calling me one day about a remix, doing this whole thing, and turns out the guy who was calling me was also a writer I thought I had worked with in LA. He was a different Michael J, and I was a different Anthony Smith than either one of the other two. And but the funniest thing was one day we were at I think it was the Red Rooster or something. I think it's Live Oak now. And there was a benefit for a writer. And he and I were there, and we were paying our money to go in, be supportive like we do. And we're standing around at the bar with some BMI, some ASCAP, some CSAC people. And they were going like, do you guys want to get up and play? And we go, well, man, we didn't know we were going to play. I thought I've had a few too many beers. And he said, I have too. And about 3 people later, they said, welcome to the stage, Anthony Smith. And he looked at me and says, are you playing? I said, no. I said, are you playing? No. And by that time we looked up and there was some young guy from Kentucky said, how's everybody doing? My name's Anthony Smith. And if you had seen the room fall out, all of our friends that were around us was just falling out, because he and I are friends. And they said, oh my God, there's another one. And one of the guys said, man, it would have been priceless if he had started singing both of you guys' hits. It would have been so funny. But we get a kick out of it. We laugh, The first time we wrote, as his publisher said at Universal said, I just want it to be you two guys in case any royalties get mixed up, we still get 50%. So
okay, that's right. That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
When did you come to Nashville?
I came to Nashville. It was very late 80s, like 90, right around. I mean, I was making trips, and then I settled on in here, right around that 90, right around there. But it was a great experience. And actually, it was one of those things where I never really intended to stay. I told this story this weekend that my goal was to be a jazz trumpet player in a big band. So I was headed to Eastman School of Music for my graduate work. I had gone to undergraduate at the University of Alabama. And my friend told me, he said, man, we need some more money to go with these scholarships. How do we get it? And we said, I know, we'll go to Nashville and sell some songs, because we were writing songs. And I actually ended up getting one recorded. And then from that point on,
First one. Everybody knows the first cut. Do you remember who that was?
And it was, I didn't even know what that meant, but I'd written it by myself as I did all my songs at that point, and bringing them back and forth, and, Combine had turned to EMI. And and then I would just bring songs up every now and then. And then I ended up moving to town, and just never, as my friend Bob DePiro said, I just never got to graduate school. And he said, boy, aren't you glad that didn't work out? And I'm truly glad that did not work out.
Well, hit after hit after hit throughout the generations of being here, from the 80s, 90s, the 2000s, you've had hits in every one of them. Reba. And I got to tell you, this is something. Did I read this right? Donna Summer?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I mean, there is not a better voice. When she moved to Nashville, I still remember seeing her sing on the stage of Summer Lights. Remember that big festival?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. Donna was I was writing with a guy I had met in New York named Keith Diamond, Keith was a big time producer. He had produced Billy Ocean, Sheena Easton, and all these people. And we started writing, and Donna was coming into town, and they set up this big introduction. BMI set up this big dinner because he was coming in to do a panel for BMI, and I had already met him in New York. And so I texted at that point, not texting, I called and said, hey man, why don't you hang around a little bit? Maybe we can write some songs, you know? And so when he came to town, he just booked it for a week and we were writing, and Donna was, I don't know what she was doing here or what made her come in, but she came in. They set up this great dinner for us and we all met, and I ended up working on this record with her called Mistaken Identity. And I ended up co-writing 10 of the 12 cuts on that record. And that was the first thing that really kind of got me going, you know, and I would,
I'll say,
I would travel, you know, go up, and they would send me, my publisher would send me anywhere that Keith was working, LA, New York, London, because I would get on these records by writing with him. And he's the first one that got me to set up a studio in my house so we could do programming and different things like that. And he used to call me Smitty. He was he was born in Trinidad, grew up in London, and lived in New York. And he would go like, Smitty, you're going to have to get some gear, man. You know, I had a drum machine, a little keyboard. He nicknamed my drum machine Oscar. And he says, Oscar's not going to cut it. We're going to have to get you a real machine and all that stuff. And was just a great mentor and friend. And so that was the thing. And I will tell you this is funny, because one of the songs, when she asked me to come up to do that right, she called me up one day. The secretary called me up and said, Donna wants to know when you're going to be back after that dinner. So when you're going to be back in New York? And I said, well, I don't know. I was just up there like a week ago, maybe like in a month. And she said, Donna grabs the phone. She said, you know, I don't know where I'll be in a month, but if you can get up here Friday, we can start writing for my new album and bring Keith. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't think I can go anywhere in 2 days. And I tell my publisher, they said, oh yes, you can. And so, and she said, Donna said, bring your wife. I love your wife. Bring your wife. So my wife said, and then, you know, there were some issues. Should she go or shouldn't she go? And my wife had this idea. She said, if I don't get to go, give Donna this title, you know, called Friends Unknown. Tell her about that. And I just went like, oh, yeah, okay. I don't know if I would have even brought it up or not. But we're up there. We're writing that night, flying to the city. And Donna said, stay at my house. So I still had a room because I had only met her, and I didn't know if she really meant that. So this car picks me up, takes me out to her place in Connecticut. And we get there like 11 at night. And she's got all of her lights cut off except for the doorbell. And I tell that driver, don't leave. And I walk up and I'm ringing this doorbell. And she cuts on all the lights and said, get in here. And they got all this stuff set up downstairs. And Keith is here. And we're just laughing. And so at one point, we're walking upstairs. And my wife tells her, she said, tell Donna about my idea. Donna said, what idea? And so we tell her about this idea called Friends Unknown, which she ended up recording. And of course, my wife didn't have a publishing deal, so she insisted we give her part of the song. And Famous Music did the admin, which is where I was signed on her part. And in this tour of Donna Summer that's touring the musical, that song that's in the musical.
Are you kidding me?
It's in the musical, and Vanessa, she started getting these checks, and now we know where it's from, and we're tracking it down, and then it kind of died down in COVID. Now it's back on, and she is so tickled and excited. I am too. It's just kind of fun. But out of all the ones we wrote, that's the one that's in the musical. Isn't that crazy?
That is the best story ever. That is the best story ever. You always tell such great stories.
It's just great.
We used to hang out with you. Jerry House and I would hang out with you a great deal back in the day. And we would
Brother Jerry and Devin. Yes, sir.
It's his birthday today, too. He and Reba both have their birthday today.
Look
so
at
happy
him.
Birthday, Jerry. And
happy birthday, Jerry.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing some time and some stories with us. What stage will you be on and what night and time?
Yeah, we're going to be at the Station Inn on Thursday at 6 o'clock. And it's going to be me, Clint Daniels. Clint's had hits with Eric Church, Joe Nichols, John Party. Jamie Paulin has had hits with Justin Moore and a host of others. And our great crazy buddy, John Stone, who's the one half of American Young and produces Lee Bryce and does a bunch of that stuff. He's going to be there. And so it's going to be a great show. And myself, you know, I'm really happy with, I've been doing several things lately. I've got a couple of songs on Chris Young's new record that we wrote together that I'm very excited about.
Don't forget that number one called Tomorrow.
Oh, Chris, yeah, we have that one. And then we got two new ones and called, Break Like You Do and When You're Drinking. And then a new artist, Ben Gallagher, that's on Benny Brown's new label with Sony. Ben is an awesome artist, and there's others, but those two I'm really excited about because they're releasing the Ben one to streaming next month, and then taking on my role as an executive with Porch Music and a partner has been a really different, interesting things with 8 different writers and all that, and so it's been so many different things. And I will just say one other thing. I did something this weekend I had never done. I was invited to write songs with soldiers in Atlanta. And I went there, and it was me, Gary Bird, Georgia Middleman, and Jay Clemente. And it was so moving. I couldn't believe that I'd never done it. I just, for some reason, the time wasn't always there, or something. I've heard people talk about it. And just, and I said yes, and all of a sudden, the date rolled around. I'm thinking, oh man, I'm just busy. I just can't believe it. And I went there, and to be a part of such a moving thing and to give back to our soldiers, and it was the most awesome thing that I have done in a very long time. So I just flew back in this morning just for this interview, just to be here, just for Miss Devin. I've just absolutely flew back in, got me an early flight, and rode on back up in here. So yeah, those are the things. But we will be at Station Inn at 6:00 on Thursday.
Well, do not miss a chance to see Anthony, and he is just fantastic. And I love everybody on your round. I love every
thank you.
person. It's actually it's just going to be fantastic. I actually confiscated, and I'm going to ask Kelly if it's okay that I play it from Today in Nashville. You did a beautiful version of Tomorrow on that. And so I pulled that video to close the show. And so I'm going to turn it over to Kelly Sutton to close out our show. But thank you so much, Anthony. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Devin. I appreciate that. That's awesome. I'll see you soon.
All right. You take care. Bye.
Bye.
Woo, love him so much. Well, like I said, Today in Nashville has a very great video of Anthony performing this song, made popular by Chris Young. I just love it. The stories behind the songs, that's the reason you go to Tin Pan South. Be safe, everybody. Be kind. And remember, you are loved. Have a great rest of your day.
Welcome back, Anthony Smith. He's such an impressive songwriter. He is part of Tin Pan South, too. He is playing this Thursday night at 6 at Commodore Grill.
Now, Anthony wrote hits like What About Now for Lone Star, Jody Messina's Too Late to Worry. He's on our Hard Rock stage, and he's singing a song that he wrote for Chris Young that went all the way to #1. Here's Anthony with Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I'm gonna leave here. I'm gonna let you go and walk away like every day I said I would. And tomorrow, I'm gonna listen to that voice of reason inside my head telling me that we're no good. But tonight I'm gonna give in one last time, rock you strong in these arms of mine. Forget all the regrets that are bound to follow. We're like fine gasoline. I'm no good for you, you're no good for me. We only bring each other tears and sorrow. But tonight, I'm gonna love you like there's no tomorrow. I'll be stronger. I'm not gonna break down and call you up when my heart cries out for you. And tomorrow, you won't believe it, but when I pass your house, I won't stop, no matter how bad I want to. But tonight I'm gonna give in one last time, rock you strong in these arms of mine. Forget all the regrets that are bound to follow. we're like fine gasoline. I'm no good for you, you're no good for me. We only bring each other tears and sorrow. But tonight, I'm gonna love you like there's no tomorrow. Now baby, when we're good, you know we're great, but there's too much bad for us to think there's anything worth trying to say. So tonight I'm gonna give in one last time, rock you strong in these arms of mine. Forget all the regrets that are bound to follow. Whoa, but we're like fine gasoline. I'm no good for you, you're no good for me. We only bring each other tears and sorrow. But tonight, I'm gonna love you like there's no tomorrow. I'm gonna leave here. I'm gonna let you go and walk away like every day I said I would.
Yeah.
Nothing like the sunrise with your coffee in the morning, or taking a good book off the shelf. Another thing I love the most than being on my own is together with everybody else. Together, like it's early Sunday summer. Together, on my front porch with my friends.